Could I get your age, please?
I'm sorry. Are you asking me?
Yeah, just your
Yes.
age for
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're
TOS.
a little bit muffled. Yeah, I'm 41.
Perfect.
Yeah. I wanted
Okay.
to discuss the topic. What are the societal impacts of religion? I think that for the most part, they're very positive, um, and have always been very positive. I think that foundationally, your societal ethics come from your religious backing, and your politics, which come from your society, are based around those ethical foundations. So, like Christian ethics, for instance, I think is very, 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 very positive.
Interesting. Are you also willing to acknowledge that they can also cause harm?
Oh, yeah. Well, anything can cause harm. But the problem with the harm principle is the metric which you're applying to it is it's like highly debatable as to what is harm. Like, let me give you an example of what I mean. So there's been a debate for I don't know about 8 years in the mainstream now on the T portion of LGBT, and the debate which is over this is the harm principle of look, absent these affirmations, these people may self harm. And here's some scientific literature which kind of demonstrates this. It's like, okay, that's fair enough. But the other side of the coin is, well, what about the harm that comes to people who think, whether it's true or not, right? But they actually think that they're lying. If they actually think they're lying and it's against whatever their foundational ethical principles are to lie, then that's going to cause them harm too. And there's really no way it kind of creates this impasse, right? Where it's like, well, how do we make the determination who's being harmed more? It just comes down to
So
like a preference. Yeah.
I have a question.
It's not a preference. Go ahead.
No.
Okay, well, show me the
I
math
have a
then,
question.
like the harm
Okay,
math.
so I have a question from empirical data, from empirical scientific peer-reviewed data.
hmm
Is SMEX and gender bimodal or binary?
Yeah. Oh, you mean well, gender itself is. I mean, you could say that's
Is
bimodal, binary,
SMEX
or you could say it's
no,
whatever.
is SMEX bimodal through empirical data or binary?
Uh, I would dispute that it's bimodal. Yeah, I would say it's
No,
binary.
in empirical data as it stands, it is bimodal. As with most things in nature, or many things in nature, very few things in nature operate on a binary.
Yeah, but the
It is bimodal.
bimodality is pointing to two ends. And so either ends of these of the what you would consider a bimodal distribution here is going to be male female. But whether or not that this is true or this is false or I'm wrong or you're right, this really doesn't speak to the impasse which is created when I say that well there's a harm which is also done to the person who perceives themselves as being a liar, and so they must tell the truth because otherwise they think it does harm to them. And so it does, right? And so this is
Where I
why
would push back
this is where
against
you could
you.
run into error with the harm principle, is my point.
Well, this is where I'm going to push back against that, right? Is one thing that we're talking about is when you're talking about a religion, you're talking about immutable characteristics, something that can be changed depending upon where you are in the planet, in the society that you're born within. Whereas who you are, from whether it be LGBT, any of the letters, is more of an immutable characteristic, and it's just who you are. So now what we're talking about is now we're talking about, well, does this person have the self-determination and autonomy of their own human rights, or does this other person have the ability to say, hey, you're doing harm to me because I have a belief system that's not grounded in anything.
Yeah, this doesn't. This I understand what you're saying, but this doesn't actually contend with the argument. And I'll explain why. Let's just grant for a second that you're correct and that religiosity is a changeable thing. Sexual orientation is completely immutable. It really doesn't matter very much because ultimately, with the harm principle, you're coming down to people's idea of utility in this case just being the thing which does the maximum amount of good from whatever your preference of what good is. So if you could say that 800,000 people lying, let's say, to one person causes more harm than the person being lied to, that seems like that. I don't know how you would disprove that or how you would say no, that causes more harm. It just seems like a very arbitrary metric.
Interesting. And yeah, everything's going to be an arbitrary metric. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all arbitrary, and it's going to all be relative. Like, let's be real.
Well, no, not everything is going to be arbitrary. So arbitrary meaning with
Well, it
like,
is because it's coming from our own subjective understanding and where we're
well,
deciding to
well,
define our
that, but that
lives.
wouldn't really be arbitrary. So arbitrary would just be without system. So there's no system in place. I would contend that when it comes to utils, it is arbitrary. There's no actual system for mathematical utils. Even Bentham himself couldn't actually. He tried to do it. He called it the hedonic calculus, but it's never been applied because you just can't apply it. But when it comes to religion, their system's actually not arbitrary. It's based on what they consider an unchanging system. So it doesn't change. It's not arbitrary. There is an actual system there, in other words.
But it does change.
Well, no, the ethical foundation doesn't change. That's the point.
It's changed multiple times.
No, I mean, it depends. I mean, I'll grant you that depending on like which sect you're looking at of religion, yeah, sure. But like Orthodox Christianity hasn't changed in 2,000 years. Eastern Orthodoxy hasn't changed 2,000 years.
It is.
Show me the change.
Well, considering the fact that I come from an Eastern Orthodox
What's the change?
country,
Tell me the change.
the change is that now they actually in 2017 they have realized that our original belief system of Hellenism is now considered a actual religion, and they reinstated it in 2017 after 200 years. We also have
Wait.
the
Back
Orthodoxy.
up. Which this came from official church doctrine?
Yes, I'm telling you about my country right now. Have you ever been to Greece? Are you from there?
I'm very familiar with Greek Orthodox policy.
Okay, so when you come to my country, then you will find out that there is actually a bill where Hellenists can practice the original ancient tradition and religion of Hellenism, which was granted by the Orthodoxy, and they have accepted it and redeemed it as a actual religion.
Really? Because I'm
There is
looking at it,
also,
it's denounced by the Orthodox Church. It's literally denounced as being a heresy by the Orthodox
it's
Church.
actually not, and especially not when it's in our actual laws.
Yeah, your laws don't have anything to do with church traditions. It has
Even
nothing
in
to
the
do with
church
anything.
traditions, there are certain bishops that actually agree and feel like it is redeemable.
That's irrelevant.
That
That's
there
not
is
good. They
no
don't have
reason.
the authority of the church because a bishop feels a certain way.
But they're still a part of the Orthodoxy.
Rolling.
Yeah, but that has nothing
Three,
to do with the official
2,
church doctrine.
1.
It
What
it
happened?
doesn't.
And they banned me. And they banned me immediately. They banned me right away. Oh, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, caught her lying in 4K. Lying second. All you got to do is always ask. Just always ask him, like, is this the actual church's position? No, but it's the... Yeah, no. Yeah, banned, instantly banned.